Alright, welcome back guys. We're going to do solving by factoring. So if you can factor and you feel good about those, then you can definitely solve by factoring. Notice the difference with solving is that you have an equals to 0 on every problem. So it's just taking it one step further. So we're going to do number 1, 4, 6, and 8. And we'll jump right in. Number 1 is two terms with a plus sign, so it's just a GCF. So I can take out an x and I'm left with x plus 9. That's really all you can do. And with solving, you just set each factor equal to 0. So x equals 0 is a solution, and x plus 9, we set that equal to 0, and you just solve for x. So in this case, I subtract over my 9, and x equals negative 9. You will always have two solutions for every quadratic that you solve. Alright, number 4, this is actually a difference of squares. You can take the square root of the front, which is 3x, and the square root of the back, which is 5. So for this one, you just put a plus sign in between and then a minus sign in between. Now we're solving, so we're not done yet. We want to set each individual factor equal to 0 and get number solutions. So I'm going to subtract over my 5, divide by 3, x equals negative 5/3. Then for this one, I'm kind of running out of room. I'm going to add over my 5, divide by 3, x equals positive 5/3. So once you get your factors, all you're doing is solving little linear equations. So we should all be able to do that by now. So those aren't too bad. Remember, the difference of squares, it has to be a minus sign and it has to just be two terms. That's why this one on number 1, although it was just two terms, there's a plus sign, so it can't be the difference of squares. All right, number 6, we actually have a GCF before we start. All three parts can be divided by 2. So let's take that out, and it will make our factoring easier. Now it's a quadratic trinomial, so I have to use the grouping method. So I put my a times my c, which is just negative 12. The GCF just stays out front. Negative 1 goes in the bottom. That's going to be negative 4 and positive 3. That multiplies to the top and adds to the bottom. Don't forget, when your a value is equal to 1, it's an easier factoring problem. You can just put a variable in front of the two side numbers. So we get x minus 4 and x plus 3. Last step is solving. So we set x minus 4 equal to 0 and x plus 3 equal to 0. And we want to get x alone. So in this case, I'm going to add over the 4. So x equals positive 4. And then in this case, I subtract over the 3. My two solutions are positive 4 and negative 3. Notice the GCF just kind of falls off when you're solving. If we are factoring, this would be the answer with the GCF. Now, as a little shortcut or a little cheat code to check, go to your calculator, type in the original quadratic. So we have 2x squared minus 2x minus 24. Type that in y equals and press graph. Your x-intercepts are your solutions. So we should see the graph crossing at negative 3 and positive 4. Negative 3, positive 4. Always graph the original and check. These are called x-intercepts, zeros, roots, solutions. X-intercepts, zeros, roots, solutions. I think that's all. So anytime you see find the roots of the quadratic equation, you just factor and solve. Or find the zeros of the quadratic equation, you just factor and solve. Again, you can graph it and check. All right, last one, number 8. Draw your x, put your a times your c in the top, your b in the bottom. Two numbers that multiply to negative 24 and add to positive 5. So I'm going through my factors of 24. I've got 1 and 24, 12 and 2, 6 and 4. What else? 8 and 3. Oh, I think it is 8 and 3. So 8 and negative 3. Alright, so these two side numbers will become your new middle term. So we rewrite this whole equation, but we replace the 5x with 8x and negative 3x. So you rewrite your whole first term. with your two side terms next to it. Again, it doesn't matter the order. If you switched it, you'll still get the same answer in the end. Your factoring will just look different. And then the last term on the end. Don't forget we're solving on this worksheet. Split in half and group. Take out the GCF. 6x squared plus 8x. We can take out a 2 and an x. And we're left with 3x plus 4. On this last set of parentheses, we need it to match this one. So I'm just going to take out a -1. And that will make everything positive back here. Then we combine the 2 out front. So it will become 2x minus 1. Then you write down your repeated binomial, 3x plus 4. Then you set each parentheses equal to 0 and solve them individually to get those x-intercepts. So you'll add over your 1 here, divide by 2, x equals 1/2. Here you'll subtract over your 4, and then you'll divide by 3, and then x equals -4/3. -4/3 and +1/2 are the two solutions for number 8. Go ahead and try some of these and check the answer key online.